Hello, today I will be showing you about video games. I'm sure you all know what they are, but you may not know some of the things I'm going to show you today. The first video game was called Space War, made by Steve Russell and released in 1962. And it was where you were a small ship and other ships would fly around a big map and shoot at you. They also made it into multiplayer so they could all play it at once. It was made for the PDP-1, which had a box-like shape and a bubbly screen. It also had a joystick and one button to shoot that you could plug in, and behind the machine there was a huge computer and wires would make it work. Then there was arcades, which I hope you all know what those are, but if you don't, they were a building that you could use money to play games. They worked very closely to how Space War did, and then a company called Atari made it so you could play these games in your home on your TV. That was amazing. That was amazing to not have to pay each time you wanted to play a game. It also had a joystick like the PDP-1. The Atari was a company that started well and went down because they were making games too fast. They began to all be too similar in playstyle and worse in graphics. And it got so bad they began to use the same programs and maps. There was a terrible ET game that came out. It was so bad it was barely playable. The copies of the game were put in the landfill to never be played again. The ET game was not the only one put in landfills, it was just the most known. I'm sure there were many more, but I don't have any names for them. There was also Nintendo, who made Mario, Excite Bike, Ice Climber, helped Pokemon become a game, Donkey Kong, Kirby, Legend of Zelda, Mega Man, Metroid, Final Fantasy, Castlevania, Bomberman, and so many more I could say. Nintendo was founded by Fujiro Yamaichi, and hugely helped by Shigeru Miyamoto, who made Pac-Man and most of the games shown above, as well as others. Then came out PlayStation, which had Tomb Raider, Sonic, and others. It had a controller and the console, and a place to put in your discs. The controller was connected with a cord so you couldn't move it too far away from the console itself. Then there was Xbox. They were a console for other games and had tons of puzzle games, FPS, and a lot of others. The first Xbox was released on November 15th, 2001. Its controller was also connected by a cord, but in later versions, wireless. To this day, they're using Xbox and PlayStation as well as Nintendo games, because all of these systems have changed to be better and have better games. Now I want to talk about FPS, first-person shooter. The first FPS was Maze, that NASA even helped out with. It started simple where you could walk around a maze in 3D and get lost. Then they made it so 2 people can play it, and then 5, and then up to 8 people could be in the maze at the same time. So then he made it so you could run around and shoot each other. You could peek around corners, and there was 2 camera modes. The other was where you could look above and see top down, but that's all I could find for it. VR virtual reality is rising to great standards. A new set of headgear came out recently called HTC Vive. It has better tracking and graphics than the Oculus Rift. There are currently over 107 games made for it, but because of it being fairly new, I don't have much to say about it. Now I want to talk about Valve. Valve is a company that makes great and well-known games. Examples are Team Fortress 2, Portal 1 and 2, Half-Life 1 and 2, that Live for HTC Vive, After Robot also for the HTC Vive. They're great developers with good humor. They also help to develop the HTC Vive. Now I've made my own game. The goal is simple: get to the portal and then you win. The gravity was hard to get working because you would fall through the world, and I had to get hitboxes working as well. So I did, how I made the goal was I needed a notification if you win. so I made it spin and animate. As a distraction, to make it harder, I made the background blink different colors. I'll most likely be making games in the future, and if not making, I will be playing them, so I hope you learned something about video games today.